Good morning. Today is October the 1st, 2014, and the purpose of this study is to analyze an obsolete overhead projector and an emerging interactive whiteboard technologies with the use of tools that support future predictions. And this study will also examine criteria to determine when a technology emerges. Right now I have Heidi Walker, our media specialist here at John T. Baker Middle School, who has agreed to answer a few questions regarding an obsolete technology such as the overhead projector and an emerging technology, the interactive whiteboard. So we're just going to get started with the questions. So, Mrs. Walker, my first question is, can you tell me a little bit about your background and your decision to become a media specialist?
My background is that I taught science for 18 years before becoming a media specialist. So I taught science in high school and in a junior high in Pennsylvania for 9 years, and then moved to Maryland and taught at Sherwood High School and then Kingsview Middle School. So during those 18 years, as much as I loved science and I loved teaching with students, I just was looking for something different, some sort of change, and I wanted to do something that dealt with curriculum and yet still had contact with students. So I didn't want to just go total curriculum writing and be in an office someplace. I wanted to still interact with kids. And MCPS was looking for media specialists, and they offered cohort classes, and that's how I ended up deciding to do it.
That's amazing.
Great decision. It was a great decision for me, yeah.
So no regrets with that.
No
That's
regrets.
Good. Yeah.
I think the best part is I still get to teach, so I still get to do the instruction. The instruction is just different. It's not just science, but I think by proving that I was a science teacher, I got the science teachers at Baker on board with the fact that yes, I could write a lesson, yes, I could do instruction, yes, I could manage a class. And then that brought other people in saying, oh, well, she can manage a class? Okay,
That's
fine.
great,
Then
yeah.
I could teach the lessons.
So that science background really helped you out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah.
So then the second question is, in your opinion, what factors determine how schools begin to integrate or use an emerging technology?
I think a lot depends on the staff itself, because it's going to be reliant on the staff to incorporate that in their lessons. We could provide all the equipment, and yet if we had whiteboards in every room but nobody knew how to use them, they would just be a projector. Yeah. So I think the willingness of some staff to learn, the willingness of a couple staff members to become lead teachers within, that helps the rest of their team or the rest of their department get on board with it. And I think, noticing that here at Baker, there were several people that were definitely, gung-ho when we got some new things. Even now, with the Chromebooks, there's several teachers that want to take the classes. So those teachers will become like the resident expert or the resident go-to person. And then by having a couple teachers really, really comfortable with the new technology, it helps everybody else get on board.
Excellent. And then my third question is, why do you think the use of overhead projectors for school was popular?
As a classroom teacher, I know why I liked it. I used it primarily because I could be working on the overhead and still face the students. Where if you were using a chalkboard, as much as I enjoyed using a chalkboard because I liked it, I liked the effect of it, and you could make it colorful and diagrams. But I would use my diagrams and I keep them up for a long time. In science, we'd draw something and say, okay, this is the lesson for the week. The overhead allowed me to write or show something, but I could still face the kids. So my back was not to the audience, more or less.
Good.
In a middle school, that's pretty important.
That is important.
Yeah, you don't want to be turned away too long.
Too long. Then the fourth question is, why do you think as a school, we are making the decision to integrate interactive whiteboards into the classroom?
Again, I think we're staying up with technology because that was the new trend. About 5 years ago, that's when whiteboards were coming in. I think a lot of teachers use it in different ways. Like if you go into different classrooms, you see different uses with the whiteboard. There are some that truly are only using it as a projector, where they project their lesson on there. So instead of having a computer hooked up to an LCD projector, they're just projecting it. But there are lots of teachers who use it interactively. I think almost every teacher that I've seen so far uses a pen. So they can then stand away from their computer. They can stand in front of the class and they can manipulate anything that's on the screen. In some classes, I've seen students go up and manipulate. Math is a great one for that, where they'll ask the students to come up and, okay, you solve the problem on the board.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, a classroom tool, chalkboard, overhead projector, all combined in one. But it makes it student friendly. The kids actually probably know more than any single teacher because they see different teachers in different classes, so they get to see all the different tricks and tools and all the manipulatives that each different teachers use, but they combine it and they can put on a good show. If I let them use my whiteboard here, which they sometimes do, they can show me things that I don't know how to do because one teacher figured something out, and then through the kids they're sharing the technology, which is pretty cool.
So they're showing
they
us.
Can show us. If one teacher knows how to, like for example, there was a special timer that we wanted to use for something, and the kids knew exactly where it was. They knew which timer it was. They knew because another teacher had used it.
Oh wow!
So that's
amazing.
It says something. The kids are truly paying attention to what the teachers are doing, not just the material, but they're also watching the technology that's going on, as they teach. So
that's great.
Yep,
that's
it's
great.
Kind of interesting.
And then one of my last questions is, what new technological advancements do you see emerging in classrooms when interactive whiteboards become obsolete?
I think we're heading in the direction of the whole bring your own device. And that's going to mean that everybody might have something totally different in their hands. So I don't think the whiteboard's going to go obsolete anytime soon just because we need a central focus. But I can also see even using some of the Google Chrome things where a teacher can push an activity to a student's device. So it's not going to be so much centered up on the screen in front of you. It's going to be on the tiny screen in front of you. So instead of a big board in front of the classroom, the activity would be pushed to every device. So every student will have that interactive activity, whatever the activity is, right in front of them, which is going to be interesting.
That is an interesting upgrade.
And I don't know what that direction is really going to look like. I know that we have the capability of doing that now, and John might be able to speak more to that because he showed me how to do that, how to push an activity to every student so that everybody has it open at the same time.
At the same time, wow.
So I don't know. As a teacher, as a classroom teacher, I'd be thinking, okay, how would I use this, and how often would I want to use that versus my own instruction. How often do I want to send it just to the students so that they can manipulate something?
Very good.
So.
Well, thank you.
Sure.
I appreciate it. This was a great interview. It gives me great insight into the difference between these two technologies. So thank you.
You're welcome.